What's this? I should file a copyright strike on this dude. Wait, hold on. What's happening here?
Tell your neighbor to get their house in order.
This dude is streaming my content.
Right, that's true.
What's going on? No, I'm just kidding.
Over the next 4 years,
I'm just
we'll
kidding.
see an increase in populism and democracy
All
and
right.
freedom throughout.
So that's the angry Canadian. I'm going to bring him on to the stream. We're going to be talking about Canadian politics. He is a Canadian streamer, Canadian broadcaster. He makes content, YTPs on YouTube. He is, I think, on the right, probably to the right of me, actually, and has a good handle on what's actually going on with Canadian politics. So here he is, official Mike, also known as the Angry Canadian. Hey, do you have a camera or something?
I don't really show my face on YouTube, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, all the YTPs and stuff they can make me say a bunch of egregious bullshit. I'm going to test. I do have, like, a mask I brought that looks like Fresh Cut Slims, so I can maybe get that ready. You
don't have to if you don't want to. It sounds like it'd be more trouble than it's worth. So we could just do the faceless version of whatever. But
I was reacting to the videos too, and I was like, spoiler alert, Trudeau ain't gonna resign. He has narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about that. Okay, so, you know, we know that Justin Trudeau is extremely unpopular. At least I understand that. I don't understand Canadian politics as well as you do, but I at least get the impression. Yes, I get the impression he's extremely unpopular, and there are calls for Trudeau to resign. Now, I also understand that Canada has regularly scheduled elections, so he's going to be up for election anyways. What does Trudeau gain by deciding to resign if he decides to do so? Like, is there any sort of pressure, like way that people can pressure Trudeau to resign other than shouting at him on the street? Because, you know, if you're an elected official, but, you know, there's no way for people to like actually resist you, how are you going to get someone like that to step down?
You really can't, unless you get him really drunk and then just like make him sign a document while he's drunk. Like have him have like shots of tequila or beer. Because, you know, Trudeau, he's not a feminist. Because, you know, he's fired every female that's said stuff against him, even Christina Freeland.
Well, that's not a sexist thing. That's probably just a fascism thing.
He even elbowed one of them in the face by accident.
Well, that's an accident. Purpose. But I mean, that's probably more of a fascism thing than a sexism thing. I wouldn't.
He's also groped a reporter who is a female.
Okay, that's sexist. Does he grope men actually? If he gropes men, it's fine. It's not sexist.
No, it was a woman.
Oh,
it was
okay.
a female reporter. There is an article about it. This was in the mid 2000s.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So you don't think that he's gonna resign?
He's way too narcissistic. His head, as I said this in a diss on him, his head is so full of that's the reason why his wife left him. It's no wonder why his wife left him.
Or it could be the groping.
Or it could be the fact that he's married to Xi Jinping, the dictator of China.
I guess I have heard rumors that he's bisexual, but I wouldn't get into all that.
Yeah. We all know Trudeau's a piece of shit anyway, so even if he does come out and use that as a ploy to help gain votes, it wouldn't really work because we all hate him anyways, even if he was, if he came out.
Interesting. Now,
not even Trump takes him seriously.
Yeah, that also is true. But I did have a question because I heard that there was some sort of thing going on in the Canadian House of Congress of Representatives or whatever your equivalent is of that over there, where people were having trouble passing something and people were blaming that on Trudeau's inability to lead as a party or inability to perform as a party leader. Can you kind of dive into what that was? Because I never went into all of that in depth on my own.
Yeah, so what happens is that he's being voted non-confidence, so all the because he's a minority party, so if all the parties are voting non-confidence, he basically, there's a majority that are saying he shouldn't be leading, and then they'll call a re-election because all the parties are going against him now. Like the Bloc are going against him, who are Quebec nationalist. The NDP are finally, because the leader of the NDP finally grew a pair. And this is gonna be highlighted in Welcome to China to 4 All in the Family. And there's gonna be a long orgy scene between Trudeau, Singh, Blanchette, and Canada Post CEO and CEO of Global CTV and stuff in the House of Commons.
Well, okay. Well,
Trudeau's
if that's the case, I might not react to that. That sounds a little edgy.
Yeah.
That's a plug for your channel. If you want to see that, go watch. Watch the
Trudeau's gonna
Canadians
pull out
channel.
his phone in the YTP, and he's gonna say, "Mr. Speaker," has a devious smile, pulls out his phone. "I need to record for my OnlyFans."
Oh my
And
goodness.
that's when he. Hey, I guess he's got to make money elsewhere because he can't get a job elsewhere because, I mean, he can't teach because allegedly he dated a high school kid.
Well, like I said, well, he could do that in a blue state,
Daddy paid
but
hush money.
he could do that in a blue state. But I would say that, like, he probably could be governor of California. I think that they would love him
Trump
there.
isn't going to annex Canada. I think Trump is half joking, half serious.
He's not serious at all. I don't think he's serious at all.
Yeah.
Dude. No, he's more serious about buying Greenland than annexing China.
Like I could
or
tell
Canada.
he was joking because, first off, you know how much money it costs to annex Alaska.
Yeah, but it's such a bad joke. Why make it? It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Like Trump says these things.
Trump.
I'm like, what are you doing? And that's one of those things where it's like,
I wouldn't be against the idea of Trump annexing Canada.
Well, of course you would. You're a right winger. But I just don't think it's smart. I don't think it makes sense. It's a waste of our time. It's a distraction. We have issues here at home that we need to fix, and we're trying to take over another country. Like that's ridiculous.
Well, maybe
and also
if he annexes Alberta and stuff like that, because he invited Danielle Smith to the inauguration. He invited the Alberta premier.
True,
to the inauguration, but didn't invite Trudeau.
But I'll also say this: you guys in Canada, you're gonna fix whatever you've got going on. I think, unless some China infiltrator goes and breaks your knees or whatever. But
or Toronto and Montreal still suck Trudeau's.
Yeah.
All 3 inches of it.
Well, thanks for telling me that, and I'm visualizing it. I appreciate that.
Trust me, it's the same as Hitler's size.
Dude.
There's an article that suggested that Hitler had a micro.
Dude, I don't want to think about these things. You must think I'm gay, but I promise I'm not. I don't want to be picturing these things in my brain. I don't want to be picturing these things in my brain. But yeah. So with this no confidence vote, kind of trying to put this back on track here.
Yeah.
What is the likelihood, do you think, that this no confidence vote is something that is put into place within the next week or two?
It's not, because Parliament has shut down for the holidays.
Well, I hear that there's Boxing Day, which ends by the time this segment goes out as its own video. It'd probably be Boxing Day within a day or two. So I think by next week, right?
It's gonna be till January. It's like they're going on long vacation. Canada government is as efficient as a snail doing construction work.
Oh, so Boxing Day is multiple days.
Yeah, but they're not. They're still on holiday. They're on extended holiday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And people are just not. Honestly, I'm fed up with the Trudeau dictatorship, as you can see.
Very clearly.
Because
you've been fed up for years.
Yeah, and he's made the country go to and go to hell because. I've literally been making jokes about him in the Welcome to China parody because, I mean, he deserves it a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, and kind of from that perspective, because you're Canadian, I'm not. How has the Trudeau regime affected you specifically?
Well, it's hard to get jobs because a lot of jobs in the job market would rather hire immigrants than hire good old Canadians for the jobs because the temporary foreign workers program is way too generous. And I've actually written an email to my MP about it too. I've actually and I've even said to him explicitly that as a person in the STEM field, like the science, technology, medicine, I actually feel I might leave Canada for better work elsewhere if the jobs don't get better. And I'm asking if the Conservatives, Pierre, and you said Pierre Poilievre's name wrong. It's Poilievre, not
Poilievre.
Whatever you said.
Polivier.
It's French. Yeah, it's French. So, I asked him if the Conservatives are elected, would they make it so that the temporary foreign worker program restricts non-essential or non-niche jobs is what I should say,
Mm-hmm.
from hiring foreign workers, but allowing the niche jobs to have that, as well as cutting to certain areas so that it's not seen as very beneficial to or incentive to hire foreign workers so that businesses don't exploit it. And I said explicitly to him too that the jobs, that there's hundreds of applications on Indeed for one of these non-niche jobs, and yet they're not hiring. Perhaps they're using it to fabricate evidence or fabricate information to the boards so that they can get a foreign worker in and falsely claim they can't find workers when they've never even interviewed any of them.
Wait, so how would a fake listing help them do that? I'm a little bit confused about that.
Because the way the system works is when you ask, or when they tell you to look for Canadians first, they'll post a job and they just choose not to hire people.
But isn't that their fault?
That, or they're maybe doing something illegal, which would technically this is illegal because they loopholed the system but exploited it to a point where they actually shouldn't have.
Right.
And I'm calling for the government to fix that loophole so that like it's harder for them to actually hire foreign workers because it takes away Canadian jobs.
Yeah, and one thing that was very interesting too, you sent me a video that I reacted to on the stream a while ago about how there's overcrowding in a lot of the places where these immigrants are living too. So, and this is one thing I don't like about a lot the way that these Democrats or left wingers want to import these left wing voters to keep themselves in power and also provide themselves with a social underclass to work at like low wages or whatever. Is that a lot of times the living conditions that they're in not particularly great because in some cases they have to either kind of like what's going on in Canada. Live in overcrowded areas, or that they settle for subpar living conditions or even wage conditions because of their status. Both of those are bad things. And I think it's just like, they're like, oh, come over here and live in squalor. Like, I don't like that at all. I wish that, if they invited people, they would invite people to, actually become real citizens so that then they can fully participate. I think the thing that they don't like about that though is that it takes a longer time to do. So then they get less people, and then they've imported less voters, and that it's a whole thing.
Yeah, and that's what one of the things too is that literally I would say that if you're an illegal, if you're an illegal immigrant, the only punishment for an illegal immigrant is they're blacklisted from the country, so they can never come into the country ever. And
do they enforce that?
Forcibly pardon me? No, that's how it should be.
Oh, yes.
If they come in illegally, they should be faced with forced deportation against their will, regardless. They're supposed to go back to the country. If not, I'll even authorize going as far as drugging them so they can be sedated to go on a mandatory flight back.
Bro, what? Yo, no.
Hey,
no. That's insane, dude. No.
There's some people comply and are so steadfast.
Tase them, knock them out, subdue them. But you want to roofie illegals? That's insane.
And then and to top it off, they're blacklisted from the country. You know what? No, you want to know the best way to roofie them is?
What?
Gravel.
What?
There's a medicine that's used, like, when you have stomach problems.
What are you talking about?
Okay,
you want to feed illegal immigrants gravel?
No, not the gravel like from the road. There's a medicine that, when you have like an upset stomach and you're throwing up, and there's a medicine called Gravol.
Oh. Well, you should have said it correctly if that's what you meant.
I'm talking about I'm talking about the Gravol.
Oh.
Because Gravol is, you can easily buy it from any store, and then you just give them a pill or two of it, and they're like woozy and doze off because one of the side effects of Gravol is you're sleepy. You're sleepy.
No, I don't support that. I think one issue with it too is that something like that you gotta hold somebody down and like force feed it to them.
That's a last resort.
Just tase them, whatever. You don't have to look. You don't have to roofie someone to put them in jail. So why should you have to roofie someone to throw them across the border? You don't. I think that's a little overboard and extreme.
Actually, maybe not. Maybe what we should do is drop them to the other side of the border, but on the other side of their country, so they have to run
Alaska
all the way.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. I'm American. Also, what illegal immigrants are coming from Alaska into Canada? I just don't think that's happening.
We'll drop them off in New York. How's that? Drop them off or California.
Well, wait, hold on. Wait a second. These immigrants are coming from like India, right? They're not like crossing the border per se.
And we'll deport them into India, in the middle of nowhere in India. We'll drop them in the middle of the Himalayas in India.
Yes. And by the way, there some people, when it comes to proposals like that, they'll be like, oh, what if the country doesn't take them back?
If they don't take them back,
give them that option. Don't give them that option. Pick an airspace. Pick a runway. Be like, we will be here to drop off your former citizens. Fly the plane there. Land it. Open the door. I think that's just what you do. Yeah. Kick them off, and then fly away.
Then just
that's what you do
as fast as you can.
Yes.
Shut the doors
and put in the military so that they can't be stopped. You can't be sending people into the country, especially if you as a government, you're like, we don't want these people here. It's one thing if they're invited, right? But if the country keeps on sending people back to your country, even after you've been like, we're not accepting people anymore, you have the right to send them back. Right?
Have you seen what Poland is doing when people are trying to get through their walls?
No, I have not.
They're spraying them with like jets of water.
Oh, really? Oh man, just like the Black Americans.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's a bit dark. Hey, you want to hear a dark joke?
Sure. I just said one. So.
Why did Hitler hire the Palestinian protesters?
Because they hate Jews too.
But they'll also incite violence to Jews as well.
I was close. You want
to hear even darker one?
What?
Who are the fastest readers?
I don't know.
9/11 victims. 89 stories in 10 seconds.
Okay, is this all you had to say?
No. But
this is getting a little ridiculous. We're getting off the rails here.
Steve Buscemi. No, this is a natural fact. Steve Buscemi literally came out of firefighting retirement to actually volunteer to help for the, and he didn't do it out of publicity. Steve Buscemi actually went back to.
I didn't ask you on the stream to talk about Steve Buscemi, okay?
No, but he was a firefighter and he was helping the 9/11 thing.
What does that have to do with Canada?
Well,
I wanted you right here to talk about Canadian politics.
Can Trump annex Alberta? Because I know he's inviting the premier of Alberta to his inauguration.
I don't want him to annex Alberta. I don't. Do we want another blue state? Oh, Azam Iqbal said your breath stinks. Actually, I agree. That's because I was just at a movie theater. I got ice cream, and sugar in your breath makes sugar in your mouth after a while. After a few hours, makes your breath stink. I was actually thinking about consuming some of this, but I was like, you know what? No one's in this room with me smelling my stinky breath. Also, I'm live streaming, right? Chewing gum, is that really going to make my breath smell better? Yeah. But I will say, Azam Iqbal, your breath probably stinks worse. People, when they make statements like that, they are wanting to distract from their own circumstances. They want to feel better about themselves. Someone's trying to put you down, they probably feel bad about themselves. So similarly here is on Iqbal. I'm live. I don't have the luxury of being able to do this, but you do. So I would encourage you to go brush your teeth because you're just here in a YouTube chat, right? And I'm here on a live stream. I don't have the luxury of being able to brush my teeth, but you do. So do yourself a favor.
And also, I was also telling him go put on deodorant too. It's cheaper than beer.
Oh, you're right. It is.
You could literally go to a dollar store and buy like a deodorant, a stick of deodorant for like $2.
Yeah.
You could like literally, if you can afford booze, there's no excuse why you can't put on deodorant. Like
true.
Literally, we should make deodorant mandatory.
True. But getting back to the topic at hand, because I do want to reel this conversation back in. One thing about the whole Canada situation as well is, so you're saying that you know people in the parliament are calling for a a vote of no confidence, right?
Yep.
Which would oust Justin Trudeau, kicking into high gear an election before its scheduled time. Is this sort of thing unprecedented? Like, how long would Canadians ordinarily have to wait in order to get another election? It's 2024 right now. I don't know if you guys do elections every 2 years, 4 years, like 6 years. October of next year?
It would have been in October in 2025. If they had one now, it would be basically early 2025.
Okay. So what would be, like, you know what? Actually, I understand, because, you know, if Justin Trudeau is sort of like destroying your country, then I think it would make sense to be like, you know what, we want to get this clown out now rather than waiting several more months and allowing him to do further damage. So that actually does make sense. But is this sort of thing unprecedented? Like, is this thing usually not happen in the history of Canadian politics?
Lots of things haven't happened. First off, Jagmeet Singh was the reason why, the leader of the NDP was the reason why the Liberals were on for so long, because he wanted his goddamn pension, which was like $2 million a year for like his years of time.
Interesting. So it's more like the catalysts to this are unprecedented than having a vote of no confidence. Like, votes of no confidence are pretty normal.
Now he has the pension, so he's voting non-confidence because he's guaranteed his pension, or almost like that, unless Pierre decides otherwise.
Oh, that's ridiculous. See, look, I just want to see people vote based on their principles, not their alignments or what they're going to get. But, you know, hey, you know what? Honestly, you know, that's going to lead to better change in Canadian politics. So, you know, is that like the worst thing in the world that it's shifting in this direction?
It's because Jagmeet finally got his pension, so that's why he decided, you know what, I'm done. Even though he's criticized the Liberals so many times and still decided to prop him up. And I was even joking about him sucking Trudeau's dick a lot of the time too, and that's why he's still in power. And I guess went sour, and so he's finally saying no.
Well, you know, we all can't be as gay as you.
I'm not.
Well, that's
I'm not. Trudeau's the gay one.
You're the one who keeps talking about these acts. I mean, straight people don't bring up stuff like that often. I'm just saying.
Trust me, I know Canadian politics. It's like seriously, I have enough evidence that I could sue the Canadian government for tax embezzlement. Like, they've embezzled Canadian taxes.
Interesting. Well, I bet you're not the only one. I hear a lot of stuff about Canadian corruption here and there.
You know, Tom Clark, the guy, Trudeau bought a home for him in New York on Billionaires Row with taxpayer funds.
Oh yes, I have a video about that. That was crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't we sue the government for that? Like, that is textbook embezzlement. Let's even search up the, like, tell me that this isn't the textbook definition of embezzlement.
It's ridiculous. Not that he didn't need a home. It sounded like from the description of the article, he needed a home, like a residence in the United States to network and meet with Americans. But it doesn't need to be a penthouse. You know,
theft or misappropriation of funds placed in one's trust or belonging to one's employer. Does that not sound like that Trudeau embezzled taxpayer money for his friend?
It does.
Like, that's why we should make a diss track on him and say it's called Crooked Embezzler. That's what the song's called, Crooked Embezzler.
I'm sorry, but like, your line of reasoning of being like, oh, you know, all this corruption is so awful, it's so bad. Trudeau is doing all these terrible things. He's embezzling, and that's why we need to make a diss track.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the thing is let's continue to let's bring it to public awareness. Let's spread propaganda on every Toronto billboard and Montreal billboard portraying Trudeau as the enemy of Canada, and let's see if they still vote Liberal and still are willing to suck him off.
Is it propaganda if it's true?
What about if we brought up that he's a pedophile? Trudeau is a pedophile.
I don't know if that's accurate.
It's alleged that he dated a high school kid while he was a teacher, and that's why he got fired. And he paid the family hush money, like about $2.5 million, or his dad did.
That's alleged. I don't like believing all alleged allegations, honestly.
Or what about the fact? Or how about we have him portray Trudeau as the enemy of Canada and anti-democracy?
I mean, I'll do that. That works. But I think here's the thing though. You don't need to do any of that. You don't need to do any of that because enough people in Canada clearly feel the way you do. It's not just Justin Trudeau's low approval rating. It's the fact that they actually voted with their votes. They voted in enough representatives into your parliament that they are now calling for a vote of no confidence against Justin Trudeau. So,
fun fact, Justin Trudeau's birthday is on Christmas Day as well.
Oh boy, what a gift he is to Canada.
Or maybe he's the Antichrist. He's the opposite of Christ.
No, that's Mr. Beast. All right.
No, that's Klaus Schwab. That's the World Economic Forum. That's the
Sure.
terrorist organization, the World Economic Forum.
Yes, I think you've brought this up before.
Yeah.
But anyways,
And,
Angry Canadian, I do have to run. I have other stories I need to get to. But is there
right.
any last statement or point you want to make about Canadian politics that Americans should know before we move on to our next stories?
If Pierre is elected, and he will be, because I know that a lot of people will vote for him, I think it'll be very good for both Canada and America, because Pierre seems to know what he's doing, and I think he and Trump will get along just fine, and they will probably reason with each other better.
Yeah, I completely agree. Dude, as soon as I saw him eating an apple, he won me over. So...
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, that was the Angry Canadian. Check out his YouTube channel. You'll find it if you search the Angry Canadian with no spaces, like America
not
before
always.
the Space Force. Also, he's got a YTP coming out called Welcome to China 4, where he will be going more in depth
family.
into both the political and the sexual acts of various members of Canadian Parliament.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be amazing. I might
Sure.
have to upload it on Pornhub.
get out. Go. Bye.
Just kidding.
See you later. This is too far. Bro. That was ridiculous. Bro, what? Okay. I appreciate him coming onto the stream to talk about, his opinions on various things about politics. But like that dude was like, edgelord much? Like that dude was going off the rails. I'm gonna have to censor a lot of what he's had to say there. Hold on, wait. I want to hear what he has to say after the stream.
Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next stream. See you tomorrow.
Okay, he's ending stream. Okay. Man, my goodness. What was that? Oh, man. That was something of a trip. That was something of... that was ridiculous. I hope he had fun with that, though. We're going to have him on the stream again at some point, though. A lot of fun. Definitely worth it. Worth the edgier moments. So...